the prime motive for us as Christians is to see all men come to a knowledge of Jesus Christ and the knowledge of the truth. Is this press toward democracy an instrument that God will use to spread the gospel?
Yes, definitely. And you can almost see, John, the hand of God in this whole thing. America's been waked up to something that's been going on for years, festering. It took a terrible tragedy to wake us up to it. We're now aggressively trying to promote democracy around the world, and in those places where we are doing it, you are seeing religious freedoms respected in new ways. Saudi Arabia is a totally closed society to the gospel. You can't get Bibles into Saudi Arabia. American citizens going over to work there can't take the Bibles with them. While the Saudis, the Wahhabi element, particularly the most extreme, is pouring Korans into American prisons. I mean, it's a terrible thing. Well, as you break down those barriers, you're opening those countries to evangelism. And the secret weapon is that as those Islamic countries open, I think there are going to be Chinese missionaries coming into the Islamic countries. The Muslim countries spread from Indonesia in the extreme east to Nigeria in the west, 35 some nations, the gird of the world. I think you're going to see China coming around sending missionaries to Islam as we open the doors. And they will probably be more effective than Westerners. They'd be much more effective than Westerners. So I think this will be one of the great harvests of the Christian history if we're able to break that stranglehold that Islam has on 1 billion people.
Freedom, the proclamation of the gospel really are linked then, aren't they?
Well, they always go together. Human rights, the proclamation of the gospel, freedom and the proclamation of the gospel, absolutely linked. But so is the preservation of order linked to a biblical worldview. Remember that God ordains government for a purpose. Romans 13 makes it very clear. The Old Testament makes it very clear. It is to preserve order, because out of order comes peace, and it is to do justice. And so if the use of military, and I believe in the just war, if the use of military is for the purpose of advancing freedom, and if it's for the purpose of liberating people, and if it's for the purpose of doing justice and preserving order, then it is a godly use of the sword, exactly what Romans 13 talks about. So I think we care about what's happening in the clash of civilizations with Islam, because first of all, it's a matter of life and death to this society. Obviously we care as citizens. As Christians we care because it's opening up the world for the spread of the gospel, and we care because as Christians with a biblical worldview, we want government to be an instrument of order and justice. And this is the only way it can be, is if we can spread democracy to these countries.
You've